thanks Life Vantage for hosting these meetings every Wednesday night. I'm Dr. Skip Campbell, for those of you who don't know me. We're here to teach you guys or talk to you guys a little bit about why Life Vantage, why now, as the numbers just keep skyrocketing, keep rolling in. That's awesome. You guys, it's so great to be with you here today. First of all, down here in southern Utah, it's a beautiful day. It's why you live here. It's in the 80s and sunny, and it seems like right now the sun is just shining on Life Vantage. Life Vantage is just what's the word I want to use? We're the glowing business on the hill right now. Everybody's looking at us and wanting to know what we're doing. And I feel kind of like we've caught lightning in a bottle again. So those of you guys who have been around for a little while, I know both our panelists today with us, both Shawns, know what I'm talking about. But we've caught lightning in a bottle a couple of times, and it kind of feels like that we're right back there right now. So I want to welcome you guys to this opportunity Zoom. I think you're going to find that you are maybe for some of you the first time in your life in the right place at the right time. And I think the information you're about to hear is, golly, I know that it turned, it changed the trajectory of my wife and I and our lives and our children's lives. And I can probably speak for the panelists that are on here. So we're really excited to have you guys on here. I'm not going to waste a whole ton of your guys' time. I want to ask you something. Actually, I want to ask Shawn a couple of questions. He's going to have to unmute for a second, but this is completely unrehearsed. I want you to know that I told him I was going to ask him some questions. We didn't rehearse any questions when we rehearsed, but I'm going to try to illustrate a point that I think is super, super exciting. Shawn, do you and your spouse, do you guys own a sauna?
We do.
Do you? And it's probably an infrared sauna, isn't it?
We have an infrared sauna, yes.
And do you use that thing?
Yes, we do.
How about a cold plunge? Do you guys own a cold plunge tub?
We do. We have a cold plunge as well.
Do you use that thing?
And that one is miserable. Yes.
No, it's too cold. When you live in February, maybe it's not getting used as much.
Yeah.
I just got out of mine like an hour ago, and I love my cold plunge. Now, let me ask you another question, Shawn. Do you activate your Nerve 2 pathway?
Absolutely. 13 and a half years every day.
I was about to ask how long. 13 and a half years he's been activating his Nerve 2 pathway. But your Nerve 1 pathway, Bobby, you've been activating that one, huh?
Yep.
And now you're activating your GLP-1 pathway, aren't you?
Yes.
Because we all saw the pictures. So the reason I wanted to ask those questions, the reason I wanted to bring that up is because something that I love about Life Vantage, and these two guys are going to go into it in detail, guy and gal, is that we're the originals, man. I mean, Shawn is a biohacker. There's no other way to describe. He's a biohacker. He's hacking his bio, and we've all been hacking our bio for a while. And in the industry that we're in, nutrigenomics, we're the originals. I mean, if you remember in the beginning, the idea of changing genetic expression through nutrition was novel. We created this little category, and we still to this day are the only thing in that category that can help you guys biohack your DNA, biohack your bodies naturally through nutrition with genetic expression. And so today we've got a couple of folks that are going to get on here and explain what that means to you, both from a physiological standpoint and then from what would be a good medical term I could use for career or opportunity? I don't know. From a business standpoint, we're going to teach you guys that as well. So it's my pleasure first to introduce to you a fellow Zoomie. Actually, I'm not really a Zoomie. She might be a Zoomie. I was in the Air Force. I didn't go to the academy. I don't know if she went to the academy either. I was just an enlisted guy. I worked with bombs, bullets, and missiles. You're talking now to pretty soon a neuroradiologist in the United States Air Force, a major, and also an EC2 here in Life Vantage. So Dr. Shawn is all about rank, I guess. Rank matters to Dr. Shawn. Major, for those of you who don't know, pretty high up the chain. EC2, for those of you who don't know, pretty high up the chain. What it says to me is whether she's wearing an Air Force uniform or her EC2 pin, somebody that you should listen to. Somebody's going to have some good information for you and can get you started on why Life Vantage, why now. Shawn, are you out there?
I am.
There you go. Take it away.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited. I'm just so grateful that, gosh, almost 13 years ago, my doctor happened to tell me about something that got to the root cause of why at 45 years old, I felt like due, for lack of a better term. And I had been searching for this. This was the answer to a question I had been searching for, and I was just blown away. I knew I was going to take it forever and ever. So LifeVantage, as Skip alluded to, we are in nutrigenomics. We are known as the activation company. We help your body make the things that it used to make when you were young and healthy and had more than enough energy and more than enough reserve and more than enough ability to squash any toxins that the environment threw at you. But as we age, we become a little less potent in terms of our antioxidant ability, the proteins and enzymes that our bodies make to fight off the free radicals and the toxins in the environment. We don't have as much as we get older. And there's a simple way that we have found that we can turn on our body's ability to make these antioxidants, proteins and enzymes, and all the things that we need for better health, the things that we used to have in abundance when we were young. So next slide, please. We have a whole array of things that can activate the good guys, as I call them, the things that help your body be healthy, from internally activating antioxidants to topically activating antioxidants in your skin. And we're going to get into that. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways we activate. Now, this is what I call the OG, the original gangster, the original generation of activators, the NRF2 pathway. This is what was discovered as kind of a needle in three haystacks. The scientific world had been searching for a way to activate one of these enzymes in our bodies called superoxide dismutase. You don't need to know that fancy word. You can say the abbreviation SOD, or you can say good guy. That's what I say. And this good guy, SOD, neutralizes 1 million free radicals every single day, multiple times a day, and it's not destroyed. Whereas if you take an antioxidant molecule like vitamin C or a blueberry, that's going to neutralize 1 free radical per antioxidant molecule. And then, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you take vitamins, your pee turns bright yellow. Well, you're basically neutralizing 1 free radical for every antioxidant molecule you took in the vitamin, and you pee out the rest. This is different. This is turning on the good guys, that SOD molecule that kills or neutralizes 1 million free radicals, which is exactly 1 million times more powerful than any antioxidant supplement you can take. So we didn't stop there. We now have an ability to turn on the body's production of collagen. And it is such a profound effect, not just taking collagen, because you definitely want to supplement or replenish collagen. As we get older, we lose collagen, 1.5% every single year after the mid-20s. And that shows in terms of wrinkles and saggy skin and even, lack of flexibility in your joints. You can replenish it. That is wonderful. A liquid collagen supplement does wonders to help replenish what you've lost. But the key is to get your body to make collagen. And when you take our liquid collagen, this particular liquid collagen turns on the 3 genes that make new collagen, and it literally doubles your collagen density. The beautiful thing is when you combine it with our Protandim NRF2 activator, those two together reduce your body's production of some key signaling molecules that are, let me say, an unhealthy signaling, basically an unhealthy stress response. Those signaling molecules that put your body in kind of a fight or flight mode, those are turned down up to 97% with this combination. And that kind of is like the same thing that an ice bath would do, as Dr. Campbell was talking about, sauna and ice baths. They turn on cold shock proteins, heat shock proteins, and all of the things. These are the good guys that this combination turns up and activates. Not only are you doubling your skin collagen, not only are you activating your good guy, SOD, multiple times, but you're turning down that unhealthy cellular stress response. I call it the boy who cried wolf phenomenon. We don't want that, because then our body becomes hyperreactive, and it can become so hyperreactive that it begins to attack itself, and nobody wants that. So we want to take this to turn on our body's ability to have an optimal, balanced stress response. And you can take ice baths if you want. That kind of adds a little bit more to the equation, but if you hate ice baths, you can do just fine with this combination. Now, this is a wonderful example of what it looks like to turn on healthy healing from the inside out. And this is a beautiful transformation of skin. You can see the skin is much firmer. It's tighter. It's brighter. And this you would think would be a topical result, but this is actually the results. I think her name is Joanne. She actually took our liquid collagen for just 30 days and had this amazing, youthful transformation. And, it's just a beautiful thing when you can become activated. Speaking of topical, while we do firm and brighten and tighten the skin from the inside by doubling skin collagen from drinking collagen and replenishing, but also activating the collagen, we can also have a topical outside in approach. And this, have you heard of retinol? Retinol has been one of the top ways that people can renew their skin, because retinol actually helps your skin renew, because it's actually working by damaging your skin. So the natural healing of the skin can take place and you renew your skin. Well, a lot of people have sensitivity to retinol, and so what this is a retinol alternative. It's actually made from upcycled cranberry extracts. And as an avid environmentalist and recycler, I love that we're upcycling cranberry biopeptides. And so you get all of the benefits of retinol. You get that renewed skin turnover. You get that actually 11 visible signs of aging: tightness, brightness, lift, plumpness, radiance, I can't even remember, hydration, appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So it's a wonderful outside in, inside out approach to this biohacking concept of activating your skin, activating every cell in your body. And I love that it's clean. It's a Think Dirty score 0. If you don't know what the Think Dirty app is, I definitely recommend that you look into it. It rates things from 0 to 10. 10 is toxic. You don't want a 10 in that score. Now, Axio, I just finished my glass of Axio. It is like a hug for my brain. It's a nootropic. I don't know if you've heard that word, nootropic, nootropic. It's an executive function drink, mental processing, helps you with focus, concentration, clarity, mood, even motivation. And if I'm going on a long ride, you better believe I've got an Axio on board. It comes in caffeinated and decaf, and it really helps your brain produce the neurotransmitters that it needs for, mental acuity and cognition. So I have to have this on my daily basis. First thing I put into my body after I wake up. And this is one of my favorite things about being associated with this company, is I get to watch people transform. And speaking of transformation, this is my good friend Jill. She has been on a health journey for years, and when she became activated, she started to visually transform. When she added the collagen, she started to actually see her body just really shed unnecessary and unwanted weight. She's been taking other activators like our fat burn, which activates mitochondria in the fat that helps white fat that doesn't burn calories turn into brown fat that does. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I love what we are doing. We're actually helping people come into the best version of themselves. And as we are the activation company, we're always thinking about what we can activate. And I'm so excited because the world has been talking about this concept of GLP-1. GLP-1 is a peptide in your body that helps you feel full and helps you not be hungry, helps you balance your blood sugars and quiet that food noise that, some people wake up in the morning and the first thought in their head is food. Some people late at night, the last thing they think about is food. And that's because their bodies are not producing as much of the GLP-1 peptide as those people who are thin or don't think about food all the time. And there are different ways of approaching this. One is a way where you bring in or supplement that peptide either artificially, which can work in terms of quieting the food noise, can work in terms of reducing hunger, and can work in terms of weight loss. But if it's an artificial peptide, an artificial protein, synthetic, they can actually override the body's systems and can result in some untoward side effects. Well, LifeVantage says, we are the activation company. How do we activate it naturally? So we've got a very natural approach to turn on the body's production of GLP-1 and also slow down the breakdown of this GLP-1. So you're actually increasing your body's production of this natural peptide that gets to work in terms of quieting the food noise, helping you not eat as much, helping you make healthier choices. And, you can end up saving a ton of money on food because you're going to eat half of what you used to eat and not have to purchase the snacks and things that you used to think that you needed that you don't need. So I love that. That is our latest and greatest. It will be released on October 11th. I'm so excited. We are the Activation Nation. This is such a fun thing. Like I said, nothing greater than watching your friends transform from the inside out and outside in terms of becoming healthier, feeling the best version of themselves, and actually looking younger. But there's more, because we not only do that, we not only help people feel better, we give people better choices. And to talk about that in terms of activating possibilities in your life beyond just health, we have Shawn with us, and he is one of the top consultants in our company. He did not come from a network marketing space. He came from a financial background. He was one of the top people in a multi-billion-dollar international financial company, and was kind of running on all cylinders and really not having as much time as he would like with his family. And a friend of his told him about LifeVantage, and let's just say Shawn has taken the reins and run with it. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Shawn. Thank you so much for teaching us about how we can have possibilities in our lives.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shawn. I've got a quick question for you, though, because I think a lot of people on here would love to know, like a doctor like you, why did you partner with LifeVantage? And can you briefly just talk about how much science backs our products? Because that's very, very unique in the nutrigenomic world.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I was looking for this without realizing I was looking for it. I didn't know it existed. I just knew that I needed to get to the root cause of why I didn't feel young anymore at age 45. I felt like I'm too old. I'm too young to feel old. Yeah. And when my doctor told me about this, the first place I went is PubMed. PubMed.gov. That's pub for public, med for medical.gov for government, your tax dollars and mine at work. And it's the National Library of Medicine repository of peer-reviewed medical literature. And the term peer-reviewed means it's top-tier science. You can produce a study and you think you're going to publish it, but the journal says, not so fast, let me turn it over to this panel of experts. And they pick apart the research. So the research that's published there has been through 2 or 3 iterations, going back and forth between the experts saying, you didn't do this to a strong enough degree, you didn't control for that. Where's this, placebo group and comparison? And they actually do all of that adjustment before it's published. So the published studies on PubMed are top tier. And when I went there to PubMed to look up what we're talking about, almost 13 years ago, there were 9 studies. Today, there are over 31 published peer-reviewed studies on this, the branded finished product, not an ingredient. And that tells me that this product is working in people, and it's not based on borrowed science of an ingredient, because you can put an ingredient into something and it may or may not work depending on how much the ingredient is there and how it's interacting with the other ingredients. So I love that this company produces science based on the finished product that people put into their bodies, and that's why it works.
I love it. Thank you so much for your expertise and being a partner with us, sharing this with other people, being a voice for LifeVantage products. And, Shawn was talking about how myself in the corporate world, the higher I climbed up that corporate ladder, the more time they expected from me and the more time that I was away from my family. I managed the cash movement for Citigroup in the range of $4 billion to $40 billion every single day. The last 3 years that I was with them, I managed the defaulted student loan portfolio, roughly $1 billion worth of defaulted loans. And I handled all the collection and litigation activity with that. And all that really simply meant was anytime anything went to court, I had to fly out and be custodian of record because I knew inside and out from A to Z how the process worked. And so, I live here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and you don't get anywhere too easy from Sioux Falls. And so if they decided that I needed to be on a Thursday in Philadelphia on Tuesday, it didn't matter what was going on in my life. I had to be there. And so, I was burnt out in the corporate environment. I was looking for something that could change my life. I wasn't the husband I should have been. I wasn't the dad I should have been. I was missing my kids, honestly, growing up. I'll never forget living out of a hotel room in Manhattan for the first 6 months of my youngest daughter's life. Missing, those early stages. And one time when I was flying back and forth, I would usually fly back home on a Friday night if I could get from LaGuardia back to Sioux Falls. If anything went wrong, I was going to be stuck there for the weekend. And I got home and we went to the lake for a weekend. And I was getting ready to go back to the airport. And my older daughter, Callista, as I was getting ready to leave, she pulled on my shorts and looked up at me and she said, "Dad, don't go back." And it honestly, it ripped my heart out. I didn't feel like I had another choice. I didn't have another vehicle to provide what I wanted to provide for the family, but I also knew I was missing out on a big chunk. And, a big portion of people that see this information, they're thinking to themselves after they hear from somebody like Dr. Shawn, when they see the science that's out there, they want to integrate the products into their health strategy. It's an absolute no-brainer. When you talk about unlocking the body's potential and that pharmacy that we have inside of each one of us, there's nothing else that compares in the nutraceutical realm for what we have our hands on. But there's also a portion of people that they want something different or they want something in addition as well. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking on the business side about the potential, about being a voice of the product and what that could lead to. So why LifeVantage? Why now? We have a compensation plan, you guys, that fits all different types. There's lots of different ways people in this profession like to build at this point. And we have great parts of the compensation plan where if you just want to gather customers, you can absolutely do that. There's great money behind that. We're talking about activation as opposed to supplementation. And the finance guy, not the doctor, here's how I would break that down. Supplements are taken when you're deficient in something and you need to get it into the body to just boost how much you have there. Now, activation, the difference is, again, you're unlocking that pharmacy inside of your body and getting it to do what it was designed to do. And as every single one of us ages, stuff that used to work really well simply doesn't work as good as it used to. And this is telling the body to go back to that previous state to function as it should. It upregulates the good genes, downregulates things like inflammation and oxidative stress. I love the fact, having my security licenses in the past, being in the finance world, that we are a publicly traded company. And that means total transparency every 3 months on what is happening at the company. And we're actually traded on the NASDAQ now, which I love, because when somebody tries to argue about the legitimacy of the company, it's pretty easy to point out that we're on the NASDAQ, we're publicly traded, we have no financial debt, we've got a lot of cash on the books. All of that information you can see every 3 months. And I'm telling you right now, I have never seen the excitement that's in the company right now ever in the 13 and a half years that I've been involved. We've got a lot of cool things that are happening right now, but it starts kind of with that visionary leadership of the corporate team. They've assembled amazing people that help us, that lock arms to build together with the consultant force. You'll see a picture there. They were ringing the bell on the NASDAQ last summer, which was super cool. We have some stuff that was published in Newsweek about us. I think there's going to be some more. And then I love the fact that we have a legacy arm of the company that gives back in the communities that we're in. And every single trip that LifeVantage takes consultants on, there's always some form of nonprofit giving in those communities to make them better places. So evolve and earn. If you're thinking about, I want something different, or I want something a little bit more, let's be honest, in this current state of the economy, there's a lot of people struggling out there, and an extra couple $100 a month, a couple extra thousand could make a huge difference in their lives. And I'll promise you this, if it isn't you that needs more, you do have friends and family that are going to bed tonight praying for something to change in their life, for something different, an opportunity that they don't currently have. And I think a lot of people are waking up in their 30s and 40s and 50s and beyond, and they're looking in the mirror and thinking to themselves, I thought I would be in a different place financially right now than I'm currently in. And when I was in the corporate world, you guys, there were some positions that I hired for, I couldn't even interview people unless they had a master's degree. And almost every single position, they definitely had to have some kind of undergraduate degree for me to even interview them for that position. With this profession, you guys, it doesn't matter what your background is. Like we have Dr. McKee just on. She's at the top of her profession, super respected doctor. But we have people from all walks of life that are able to plug into the system. And I know inside of business, if there's proven processes in place for people to follow, and they plug in, they put in the hard work, and they execute it properly, they can generate the same results as other people. And that's why we got so excited 13 and a half years ago, because we saw the vision of what this could be, and we had mentorship that would help us get there. They knew what they were doing. They had been in this industry for decades, and what we did is we just listened to them and we got to work. And 9 months after we started LifeVantage, I was able to walk away from the corporate world, and I've been doing this full time with my wife since 2012. This is on the part of the compensation plan that rewards people for sharing the product with people that want to integrate it into their health strategy. And you can earn up to 40% each month on your customer volume. There's 3 different areas that falls into: the customer sales profit, which is just the difference between what customers pay and what consultants pay. And then there's a tiered bonus program, the personal sales bonus, that gives you an additional monthly bonus. And then for new consultants into the business, there's also more money on top of that through the fast track bonuses. And I'm not going to get super in depth in all of those, but I'll just give you kind of a 10,000 foot overview of what some of these look like. We're also what's called a unilevel commission company. So when you start building out a team and you add width into your organization, more people that are being voices of the products, and then they're getting other people with them as well, that's where this part comes in. You're building up levels of commissions that can be paid 9 levels deep into your organization for you. And then we talk about kind of that lead movement, where you can get overrides on the leadership group that's beneath you. And that can be up to 20% of what they're getting on their level bonus pay. And I think the most cool thing that we have in the compensation plan is this leadership pool. And what they do with this leadership pool at the executive level, which is 80,000 in monthly volume, you can participate in this revenue sharing program with the company, and they take 4% of all the global revenue and they put it into this pool and divide it up into shares with all of the executives and the presidentials in the company. And the cool thing for you, if you're hearing this for the first time, or you're early on in your LifeVantage journey, is you can get paid on all the work that's ever been done. You can get paid on stuff that Skip Campbell did 14 years ago. You can get paid on stuff I did 13 years ago. Same with Dr. McKee, because it doesn't matter at that point who's in whose group. It's a revenue sharing program in everything that's happening with the company. I'll keep this on just for a second here. If you want more detailed information on the compensation plan, you can take a screenshot of this or a picture of this and then come back later, touch that, and it should be able to open up for you, the detailed version of what's going on and some videos within the compensation plan on the nuts and bolts of how it works. Or you can just get back to the person that invited you on here, and I'm sure that they can give you all of that information as well too. There's a lot of cool videos out there that can walk you through exactly how we get paid for sharing this with other people. Now, here's some examples of different people in the company at different levels and what their what the average earning is at each one of those ranks. So you can see Jessica Jacobs there on the left. She's what we call a senior consultant 3. And the average person at that rank is making an additional $659 a month. You guys, how many people would that make a difference as we close out September and start heading into that kind of crazy holiday season? How many people would that make a difference if they had that extra $659 sitting in their checking account at the end of the month? Then we've got in the middle there, Megan. She's a managing consultant 3. And the average income for MC3s is over $7,500 a month. And for most Americans, you guys, that's starting to replace what they bring home in their normal work checks, right? And so there's potential there. What I love about this, though, is depending on how many people you bless with these products, how many people you get to lock arms with, when you can start hitting those executive ranks, look at what Bob and April Wagner at Executive Consultant 2. They're at that level, and the average person at that level earns over $24,000 a month. And that's life-changing, you guys. That's a whole different level than most people are used to in what they're doing for job-wise. And there's 3 additional levels beyond that, where the top rank, the presidentials in the company, the average income there is over $137,000 a month. And that's something that I didn't understand when I first got introduced to LifeVantage. Was I had no clue you could have your hands on a multi-million-dollar business with $1,000 investment. It didn't make sense to me. As I told you earlier, I was used to moving like billions of dollars around the world. $1,000 investment to me didn't seem like it had the potential that this had. But I was open-mindedly skeptical. But I'll say, that skeptical part was I didn't understand truly how this profession works and what the possibilities were. But as we started to share these products with more people, the more people we shared it with, the more people that wanted to integrate it into their own health strategy and see where it fit in with them. And then when we really started to follow the system and shared the business opportunity with other people, we found a lot of people that were raising their hands and saying, I need something different. I need something more. And as we built up that consultant base with us in our organization, that's where we started to see real transformations in what was possible. And it made life-changing experiences for me and my family. One of the things that I love about the company is there's always opportunities for you to travel the world. And there's different incentive trips that go on all the time. Currently, we have one that is set up for executives that will qualify for a trip to South Africa. And we also have another one, an Alaskan cruise for next August, where you can travel the world with like-minded people. My kids, they didn't know me, after they were 4 and 6 as that corporate guy. And I am so thankful for that, because now they get to literally travel and see the world as we build our LifeVantage business and transform people's lives, make them better versions of themselves. So if you want more information on what trips are available, what you can qualify, I'm telling you right now, I think is one of the best times to ever get involved with this company, and especially earning that Alaska trip with what we have coming on board October 11th with that GL1P product Dr. McKee was talking about. There's going to be people that just come into this company right now, come into the company early next month, that will qualify for that trip pretty quick with how it's structured and designed, especially with the rapid growth that we can see next month happening when that product launches. But I'm telling you already, the momentum that's happening in the company right now I would get on board as soon as possible and start paddling as fast as possible, because we've seen two different big waves hit the company. The first one was when that flagship product, Skip was talking about this, Protandim NRF2. There was a huge wave that took this company to another level. And then in 2022, when we released that liquid collagen that Dr. McKee was talking about, we saw another huge spike at the company with that product. Everything that I'm seeing, you guys, with this GLP-1 product, it's going to be on a whole different level than anything that this company has ever seen before. The excitement, the passion is there, but it's backed up with a product that has true science. And we're going to learn all about that on October 11th. And I can't wait to see how many lives transform over the next 12 months for people that take this serious and they want something different. Now, there's a couple different packs that you can get involved with if you choose to do the business side. If you're saying to yourself, I just want to integrate the products into my health strategy, that's great. Get back with the person that introduced you. But if you're saying, I want something different, I know I can impact other people's lives, I want to lock arms and be a voice of the product, here's 3 different packs that are available for you to get started on the business side. We've got the Business Builder Pack. I truly, if I had to re-enroll today, that is the pack that I would go with, simply because it comes with all the product categories and you're going to get to sample each one of those products that you become a voice for. And I think it's pretty hard to be a voice for products that you haven't used. And so that's where I would get started if you can. There's these other packs that are amazing packs as well too. Get in where you fit in. I think the biggest thing is just raising your hand. You don't do this alone. We have this designed where you work with the team. We all work together to help every single person that we can impact. And we change people's lives, I would say, in 3 different ways. The first and most obvious way is going to be through the products and people's healths, right? The second way, though, that we don't talk about as much is that financial, right? There's financial stress behind people's doors that they usually don't talk about or aren't as evident as maybe a medical or a health need. And with that, I think that financial stress is just as damaging to people as oxidative stress is inside of the body. It can do a lot of damage to relationships, to people, their mood, how they're feeling. So that's a second area that we help people become better versions of themselves. And the third is just personal development. The people that come into LifeVantage are extraordinary humans that I love doing life with. And we work together all the time just to raise ourselves up as better people so that we can help more people. And I want you to think about for a second where we're at as a society, because I think there's some convergences that are happening that you have to pay attention to. In business, we always look for growth curves and how close you are to the beginning of those curves. And I think right now in society, we're being way more proactive with health as opposed to reactive. People want to take care of their bodies when they're healthy, as opposed to waiting for things to break down and then be reactive to it. And that's what we're talking about with nutrigenomics, is getting the body in the best potential shape that we actually can get it in. And we're doing it in natural ways. The second thing that I've seen happen over the last decade is a huge transformation in customer behavior and how they buy products. I'll give you the example of Amazon. Amazon has changed customer behavior probably more than any other company ever has. And when you look at like a company like Toys R Us that went bankrupt several years ago, there were more toys sold in that year than ever before, and the largest toy retailer went bankrupt. Why is that? Well, it was because customers were being they were being so used to getting things directly shipped to their house, they weren't going into that brick and mortar store like Toys R Us anymore. And so that consumer behavior changed, and they weren't buying less, they were just buying differently. And when you look at network marketing in relation to like Amazon, it's very similar structure. Amazon simply is a bunch of distribution centers that take a product and ship it direct to the customer, instead of having that middle storefront where they're putting it onto a shelf for a customer to go in and look at and then buy and take home. So that has shifted. Now, when you look at LifeVantage and the profession of network marketing, we're the exact same. Our niche is in nutrigenomics, and we're taking nutrigenomic products, and instead of it being on the shelves like Protandim NRF2 used to be prior to 2009, it sat on the shelves of GNC and CVS and Rite Aid. But you can't even tell me in 2024 that people are going into like a GNC and saying, hey, what do you have to reduce oxidative stress? That story just isn't being told. So it takes voices for the products for people to understand why they need to integrate it into their health strategy. And so we take those niche products in the nutrigenomic world and we ship them direct to the customer through consultants and the voices of the products. So that to me is kind of the big deal as far as why network marketing. And I also want you just to think about for a second, what if you were hearing about information tonight that the majority of the world had never heard of before? And in the financial world, we had this thing called the average man theory. And simply what that meant was if the average person on the street knows information, it's too late to act on that information. And if you can get ahead of the information cycle and that momentum curve that happens with the news cycle on information and position yourself properly, it puts you in the potential to have major things happen in your life. And that's where I think we're sitting right now with this company. We're established, we're secure, we've got great financials, and we're about ready to see another wave come crashing through. And two things are going to happen. Some people are going to look up and the wave hits them. Other people are going to put in the work and what's necessary to ride that wave for life-changing results. And so I truly, in 13 and a half years, I've never been more excited to talk to people about the consultant side of things because I know what is coming. We're already seeing it. I was paid to be a forecaster of numbers. I can look at numbers and I can see where they're going to be in 6 to 12 months. And this is a game changer for LifeVantage and I believe the entire industry. But again, I want you to ask yourself, what if? What if you had this information prior to anybody else? Think about like the Apple iPhone for a second. Apple iPhone, the original. How many people, put in the chat if you had the original iPhone? It's not going to be very many people. How about the iPhone 2? Anybody have the iPhone 2? iPhone 3? Usually around iPhone 4, that's about where people are like, yeah, that's where I kind of got in. And that was 4 generations of that technology being in the marketplace before the average person really started to have it. Now we're on what coming up here, I think next week is iPhone 16. Like most all Americans have heard of, if not owned, an iPhone at this point. So if you were going to get involved with Apple and ride that wave of technology, would it have been better to get in now at the iPhone 16 or the original iPhone? Right? That changed the landscape of how we live our lives. Having smartphone technology in your pocket changed things. And I think what you're going to see with these products that we already have, they're game changers in nutrigenomics. Protandim NRF2 is the greatest nutrigenomic I've ever seen. But activated liquid collagen, it was something that when I was in the trial for that, I thought I would take it for 30 days. And I'd be like, it's a great product, but it's not something I'm integrating. And my wife probably would fall in love with it and use 7 times as much as she was supposed to. But the reality was when I saw the results that happened for me, it changed my perception on what was going on. It was really demonstrable. And about 25 days in, there were such significant changes to my face that's now my favorite product that we have. Axio, I absolutely love that. All of these products have very different things, but I'm telling you with GLP-1 and what's coming, I haven't seen anything like this before in this company. The noise, the excitement, the passion, what's about ready to hit is going to be game changing. So do you want to get into it before it hits the marketplace? Or do you want to watch what happens, take your time, look up 9 months later and be like, oh, I probably should have taken that chance. I probably should have had the opportunity or taken that opportunity that was presented, because you have information now that the majority of people don't have. But what we can't go back and do is give you August 11th over again. August 11th, 2024 is going to happen one time. The launch of this product, I think, is a once in probably a couple decade opportunity for people to have transformable things happen to their lives. I'm going to leave it with this, you guys. All of us have that decision to make. What are you going to do with the information? I thank God every single day that even though I was that skeptical guy in the back of the room, I was open-minded enough to listen to the information and see where it fit in with our life, because it did transform everything. I don't know where we would be if I had stayed course with City or in that corporate environment, because it was draining my soul more and more and more every day. And I'm just so thankful that we took the information and we acted on it. So again, ask yourself, what if? What if I made that change? What if I took that chance? What if I locked arms to make a difference in the world? Get back with the person that introduced this to you. We have this happening every Wednesday. Next Wednesday at the same time, we'll have different speakers delivering this information. And that's an opportunity for you to get your market of people. Have kind of a thought process of who else needs to hear this information, whether it's for the business side, whether it's for the product side, a combination of both, or just that opportunity to be around entrepreneurial spirited people that transform the world. It's totally up to you, but get back with the person that introduced this to you and let them know where you stand, and let's go change the world. Thank you, Dr. McKee. Thank you, Dr. Skip Campbell. We appreciate you guys being on here to educate us tonight. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting.
All right. Have a great night, you guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.